is functional today, successful today, and successful with the president who's in office on January 20th, mid-afternoon, will also be successful.
May I ask something? Someone who played – did you play sports, Isabel?
Of course I played sports.
Okay, you played sports. I know this.
Yes.
Okay, Charlie's a good basketball player.
I'm actually a lot better than people think.
Good basketball player.
And also I'm taller than people think when they meet me.
Well, that makes a difference in basketball for sure.
Not as much in golf.
True.
Isabel's 6 feet tall, so just extrapolate
Way
this.
taller
Yeah.
than you think on my social media, you guys.
If you win a game, if you win a close game, how do you behave? Like, this is human nature.
This is a great point.
If you win a close game, and maybe you were an underdog, or maybe you were accomplishing something great, you beat your major adversary, the biggest adversary, your biggest rival, you just defeated him, how do you behave?
Celebration and gratitude.
Yes.
Graciously.
Do you immediately run over to the other side and make a list of every player on the other team so that you can make sure that you dox them all on social
Now,
media?
there are a couple NBA players that used to do that.
Do you try and burn down their school?
We call them the Detroit Pistons.
Do you run over and burn down their school?
Or prevent them from getting a job or getting into medical school, or, I mean, the list could go on.
There are like these human nature. So the question is, are Democrats behaving as winners, or are they behaving as cheaters?
They're behaving as cheaters.
Like, what are they behaving like? Like, take a second and think about, like, if you have kids, or if you think about yourself in high school. Like, for me, that was 27 years ago. Like, what did you behave like? There's a human nature element to this. When you look on social media right now, you do not see liberals elated, humble, proud of their work. You do not see the left, the verified left, doing anything other than making lists, building fortresses, like scared, entrenched, worried. If you talk to one of your leftist friends and you're conservative, all it takes is a little poke, and they'll freak out. They'll snap. The Trump Accountability Project, as Charlie's showing me right now, is a perfect example of this. This is not the behavior of human beings who have won anything. This is the behavior of cheaters who are scared to death that they're going to be exposed, and they have to silence you and make you fearful to ask questions so that they can get away with it.
This is such a good point. If they actually won legitimately, they would have behaved like we did in 2016.
Absolutely.
We were happy. We were full of gratitude. I'll never forget. And then I want to play this clip of Richard Hopkins, who's being intimidated by our own government, which, welcome to the big leagues, Richard. Get in line. I'll never forget. I was up till like 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning when President Trump won back in 2016. It was one of the most amazing nights. I was there at the Hilton in downtown New York and went back to our hotel. And I woke up super early in the morning, and I met one of our board members for breakfast at like 9 a.m. with like 3 hours of sleep. But we were on just pure joy adrenaline, right? I'll never forget. I went outside, and there was a singular protester against Trump, one, and she had a sign that said something really bizarre. It was super New York-y, right? So it's like kind of like figure it out, because it was like kind of indirect. And like these New York protesters always try to be really cute, which is like the sadness has come for our nation or something, right? So I remember my tone being a winner was like, hey, it's going to be okay. He's going to be a president of all Americans. Like, I legitimately was like trying to console her. I wasn't like, ha, lib, cry, you're awful. Like, that just wasn't like where I was.
Line of the night.
It wasn't like
Charlie just went to the campus and started that 24 hours later.
That was a couple months after they burnt down our country and spied on our president and launched a coup. Then I was like, that's it. What was that girl's name? Go find her. Kidding. Instead, I didn't go up to her. I was like, what's your name? You're on the list.
Where do you work?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where's your family?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's not natural after you win legitimately to behave like this.
Correct.
It's not.
Correct. Did Isabel, did you go make a list of Obama administration officials?
No,
so that you can make
absolutely
sure
not.
that you call up their employers after the administration?
No,
And
and who honestly would behave like that as a normal human being? I mean, this is so far beyond politics. This goes into the general psychology of what it means to understand another human being and have empathy. For those of you that don't know, the reason I was a couple of minutes late this evening was I was doing a Zoom event with one of our chapters in Tennessee, and the number of our students that I've talked to over the last several days who genuinely are starting to think they may never get a job. They may never get into graduate school. They're going to get Fs on all of their papers. They may be expelled from school because they dared to post
it's a
one
legitimate-
picture in a MAGA hat. That is unacceptable. And it has
Sickening.
nothing to do with politics. It has to do with this new level of insanity. We thought Trump derangement syndrome was bad in 2016. We have reached entirely new levels of what people are willing to do to each other and what we're capable of over political differences.
Well, and it's not how winners behave. And this is a Turning Point USA chapter.
It is,
right?
yes, indeed.
TPUSA.com, wearing Turning Point USA gear.
Always
Benny's not wearing
rocking
Turning Point
it.
USA gear.
Ouch.
But we'll excuse him on that. But I think that someone said, "Oh, Charlie, I was with you 100% till that Piston dig." Hey, the 1990s Pistons were like the dirtiest team that play. Okay, Isaiah Thomas and all of them.
They were great.
The Bulls were better. Okay.
Ugh.
Richard Hopkins, he signed an affidavit saying that the Postal Service was reversing data